So it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do these sort of trade reviews, but I think it might provide some encouragement just for those that are sitting on the fence. Like, hey, do I want to get into this? Do I want to step into this community? Do I want to step into this industry? Are the skills? Is the skill of learning to trade worth spending the time to get the skill? Right? Is having people help you along the way. One of the things, if you're like me, a lot of times it's a lot easier to learn around other people, or I used to say copy off the smart kids. And it's not just copying off the smart kids, it's actually practicing and validating your trades with the smart kids, right? It's not just giving somebody a trade idea and saying, go out and enter this, and they have no clue if it's good, bad, or ugly, right? It's being able to take that trade idea, balance it off of what you've learned and say, okay, this looks like something that's going to go in the direction I want. I'm going to go ahead and take that trade. I'm going to enter it. The other cool thing about getting trade ideas from experts is that when you're on a demo account, right? When you're on a demo account, you can take those trade ideas and you can plug them in. And I call it the push the button to see what happens theory, right? When you actually take action on something and you actually do it, you learn a lot faster. At least I do, right? Versus just watching, you learn when you're actually actively involved, right? You can read a book about putting a spaceship together, but until you actually put a spaceship together, you're going to learn along the way. You're going to learn like, oh, this doesn't quite fit, or maybe I put that in the wrong place, or maybe it's repairing a lawnmower, or whatever. Playing dominoes. It's until you're actually in the game, till you're actually in doing it, you're not going to learn. So when you have your demo account and you have your basics underhand, then you get a trade idea from the expert. You put all those together, you put it in, you hit enter, you see what happens, you learn something. Then you can take some notes. And as you do that several hundred times, right? Yes, it's several hundred times. You're going to get down to the point where your subconscious mind is going to say, oh, I remember that. I remember that. Oh, yep. I need to trade with the trend. I need to go here. Now I'm not going to do that one. I looked at a trade this morning. I was just like, it doesn't feel like a trade. And I looked at it. I looked at everything. I said, it's not a trade that I'm going to take, even though it was given by the AI bot that we have. Not necessarily. Again, the AI bot's based on, it was a very short time period. Luckily, I went counter to the AI bot based on my experience, and I ended up winning the trade. So I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to run through this. First, I'm going to start out with what we call a pip calculator. I'm going to talk about this gold trade that was dropped into our group. And one of the benefits of membership, right? One of the benefits of membership and enrolling into the Trading Academy is that you get access to the experts, and they drop their trade ideas, whether you're doing options trading, forex trading, gold, you decide to get into the cryptoverse, whatever one of those you want to play in, you get access to these guys. And these, I shouldn't say just guys, the people, the educators, because some of them are female, and they throw out this is an idea. For example, the one I'm going to share with you right now, and then I'm going to go through just my trades that I sort of did as a recap. Some of those I talked about, was it yesterday or Friday? Anyway, it was the last time I went live. I think it was yesterday. It was Monday, yeah. So I'm going to go through those and just sort of recap, sort of give you some updates. Our AI bot, which I've really been playing with a lot, has been dropping just trade after trade after trade after trade after trade after trade. A little bit hard to keep up, but I go and grab the ones I can. I'll take a look at it, analyze it. If it looks like a trade that I want to go. And sometimes I'll take that AI bot as I see that trade, but I see a better trade. And I'll take one of my own trades in addition to the AI bot trade, or I may skip the AI bot trade and take my own, right? It's just a nudge. It's a poke. Say, hey, look at this, right? So very, very cool. And you'll get to the point once you actually start doing this. You're not going to learn how to trade in 2 weeks unless you're a super genius, right? I would recommend, if you enroll into the academy, that you stay enrolled for at least a year. If you want to stay plugged in, that's cool. Maybe you've had some past experience, a little bit of experience, you're not sure. But either way, commit to this, right? I'm been in trading and learning how to trade and participating in this. Somebody said, hello, hey, I don't know. I can't see your name because you didn't pop up, but hello, Facebook user. Appreciate you swinging by. So I think it's am I at 3 years or 4 years? I don't know. It's been several years. It might be my 3.5 year period. It's I want to say I started in April. So maybe April is 3 years this year. Anyway, so I'm going to show you this pip calculator. It's pretty cool. It's with a company called FXTM. I can't trade with them because they don't accept U.S. residents, but they got some really cool calculators on their site that if you want to go play with them, you can. They've got a PIP calculator. They've got an earnings calculator. And it's just something neat to take a look at. So let's jump over that. Then I'm going to run through these. And I would strongly recommend, oh my God, I got to stop, slow down. The options trading class is phenomenal, right? I'm learning how to trade options. Jess, who's our instructor. Hey, Barb. Jess is our instructor. She came in today and she walked through what we call the Thinkorswim platform, which in forex trading, you can get some of the stuff. You understand stop losses and things like that. But options trading has a few little other interests. It's different, right, than trading forex and crypto. There's some differences in there. And learning how to use that Thinkorswim platform to execute trades. I'm actually trading with Charles Schwab, again, not recommended him. I just set him up and got it going. So I'm in there practicing on a demo account, right? Just because I've experienced trading doesn't mean I'm just going to go throw a bunch of money into options and go, oh, yeah, I know it. It's not. It's different. And I really appreciate today's class. If you'd like to get into that boot camp, we just finished day 4 today. It's a 60-day boot camp. The previous 4 days have all been recorded. They're all about an hour a piece. So you can still go in and watch those and catch up before next week. So if you actually enroll today, you can go catch day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. And then on Monday, when day 5 class rolls back around again, you can grab day 5 and get into that and start catching up. So I'd highly recommend all the classes are recorded. Matter of fact, she threw a quiz in there today. I got to jump in and get that right after this live going in. And she does daily homework where she just basically sort of does homework and quizzes based on what she taught in the day. It's the whole point of making that impact. So if you want to get into the options class, let me know. Reach out to me. My phone number is scrolling right across the bottom of the screen. If you're on Twitter and you can't see it, 314-498-7688. Shoot me a text first. Tell me who you are, and then we can get together and chat about getting you enrolled into class. If you spam me, I will simply block you and report you for spam. So don't do that. Anyway, so let me share my screen here. Pull this up again. This broker that I'm going to share with you is called FXTM. And I need to do entire screen. There we go. So as you can see this is the trade idea that was sent out last night by one of our instructors, and you can't get access into this group unless, unless you're actually part of, let me move this up just so I don't know if I can or not. Anyway, not a big deal. You can't get access unless you're enrolled in the course. And I know people are going to go and try and find this, try to get into this and try to do the back door because they're too cheap to pay. Anyway, let me digress here. I digress. So this is the gold trade that was sent out last night, right? Stop loss, take P1, take profit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all the way through 7. Now I'm going to show it to you on the chart, what it looks like on the chart. So first thing, and again, FXTM isn't associated with anybody. They're just a broker that I found. I stumbled across. They have a really cool calculator. You can simply come up in here to, right here. You click on trading, and then they've got PIP calculator, profit calculator, margin calculator, trading signals calculator. They've got all this cool stuff here. So you can come in there and do that. If you're overseas, it might be your preferred broker if you don't live in the U.S. So anyway, and you can always go to a broker and pull down arrow, and it tells you which countries you can be in. And a lot of times they'll just pop up and notices, we recognize your IP address. Is it in a region that we're authorized to do business in? Anyway, let's go down here to gold, right? And we're going to do a sell, right? And the open price, I'm going to say 3.5. I think it was 2035. I believe right in that area. It was 2035 was the entry of this price. Take profit 1 was 2047.33, 2047.33. And depending on your lot size, right? Your lot size is going to determine how much money you make. I did a 1.2 particular. I don't know why it's giving me a minus 1479. Hold on, let me think about my numbers. Am I going the wrong way? 2047. Oh no, hold on. Whew, I'm doing math upside down. It would have been 20. Give me a second. Let me look at the chart. It was right here. Okay, here we go. Whew. Trying to think upside down. Let's try 2049. How about that? All right, we'll start right there. 2049. Okay, so with that, as you can see, that's $200. That was on this first take profit. So from the entry point about 2049, that's an estimate, right where was it entered at. Take profit one was 2047. If you would have got the trade a little bit late and decided, oh, I'm just going to enter at 2047, which would have been fine, you could have went to 2045. I'm going to show you that entry. So let's say you got in at 2047 and you're going to go to the 2045 area. That's another $240. But right now, the trade has actually gone all the way up through, I think TP1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just hit TP6, right? Working on TP7. It's on, and I'm going to come back and go through this whole chart. So it's all the way at TP6, which is 2025. So in all of that, at that starting trade, if the trade would have started up here at 2049, which somewhere it's pretty close, and went down to 2025, right? 2025, right? That's $2,880, depending again on your account size, the size of lot that you choose. If you have a $500 account, you probably would have wanted to do like a 0.05 lot size, which still would have been $120, which would have been an increase of see 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, over a 20% increase on your account with a $500 account at a 0.05 lot size. If you took this trade around the 2049 area and you let it run all the way up through take profit 5, you would have earned $120, right? So it all depends on your account size. If you have a $500 account, your broker's not going to let you take a 1.2 lot leverage size. It's not. It's going to give you like, it's going to buzz at you until it's not going to accept that trade. Of course, you enter the trade on MT4 to go on, or MT5, depending on which one your broker has entered in. I'm using MT5 with my broker to set that up and run through that. So basically, this trade came out, like I said, depending on your lot size. Maybe you had a $1,000 account and you wanted to go a little bit bigger and do like a 0.8 on a $1,000 account. You could have made $1,900. That's again a stretch there. I would maybe do like a 0.5 on a $1,000 account. My rule of thumb is just do half of where you're at. So if you're a $1,000 account, you might want to do a 0.5. If you're at a $2,000 account, you might want to go to like a 0.9. If you're at a $3,000 account, you might be able to go to a 1.0. Again, it's all on your leverage and what you're going to risk in your stop loss. Of course, there's a stop loss up here to prevent you from losing money. And again, this is a calculator. It's not perfect math. Forrest said on the FTXM calculator that if I put it in here and put it in here, I was going to make this much money, and I'm not making this much money. I'm mad. It's just an estimate of where you're going to be to give you a general idea based on your trade lot size, based on an entry and an exit, based on the pair that you're choosing to trade with, how much money you're going to make. Of course, you need to come in and analyze the chart. So I wanted to show you this because this is a very, very cool tool. Depending on what kind of lot size you're using is going to determine your day and how much at least you trade. I didn't take all these trades. I'm going to come back and show this to you. So let's bump that out the way and go here and jump over this. So this is US 30, right? Every morning, if you decide to be a member and come into the club and you're going to learn the basics, one of the quickest ways to earn money is with scalping, right? And there's several different methods to scalping. We do super fast, high energy scalping, right? There was 996, basically it maxed out at 1,000 today of people on the call this morning at 8:30 Central Standard Time. The market opened, ding, ding, ding. We went into the trades and scalped. And this purple area just represents the area of scalping time. And you can see this first candle up here was at 8:31. This first one here was at 8:30. And we just missed that trade. I caught a little bit of it because I just grabbed it because of my experience. I'm on the 1 minute chart here. And this goes very fast. So this is 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. All these candles represent 1 minute. And you can see in this little time frame. Now, this says 13 minutes right here. Doesn't mean the trade was open for 13 minutes. It means I sat in front of my computer for about 13 minutes, open a trade, close trade, 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 scalp really, really quick, in and out. Most of the trades were open and closed in a matter of seconds. And I'm going to share this with you. Earned $605 based on my lot size and my lot size. I don't go, like I said, I don't like to risk a lot. But again, $605 for, if you want to say working for 13 minutes, I'll take that all day long. Ended up having a really good trading day today. Nomads. And again, lots of money in the US 30, depending on, this is just scalping. Imagine if you could get up every morning from 8:30 or basically 15 minutes in your morning, depending on where you live, right? And do this and earn as much money in that one day as some people earn in a whole week, right? Maybe earn as much in a whole week if you did this Monday through Friday. Monday, we didn't really do anything yesterday because it was a holiday. It was Martin Luther King Day. So I didn't do anything that day. But just imagine if you could trade that, right? You could scalp that. Scalping, you don't have to set a take profit. You're not setting a stop loss. You simply open and close. And it's literally, the cool thing about it is you got everybody there. You're looking at your supply and demand zones. You're waiting for that candle to break. Everybody's sitting there with their finger on the trigger. And depending on what kind of experience you have, the instructor says, taking the trade, bam, you hit it. Hot closing trade, bam, you hit it. You made 5, 6, 7, 10 pips, 20 pips, or whatever it is, right? And pips are related to dollars based on your lot size, right? That's how you make money. And you can open and close. And if you have some experience, once you get experience, you can sort of take the cue. You can listen to the cue and say, okay, I see it. Some of the trades I open before he calls the trade, because there is a slight delay, because I understand when to open and take a trade because of my experience. Again, I keep saying experience because I practiced a lot on a demo account. I practiced a lot on a demo account. Let me ask you this. Would it be worth it to spend 6 months practicing on a demo account that 6 months from now, rolling right into June, that you can literally get up in the morning and make more money in 15 minutes than you made all month on your job? Possibly, maybe, right? So that's US 30. I'm going to jump off that bandwagon and hang out with a bunch of cool people, right? And maybe when you get the scalping out of the way, you made your money, go in and learn how to trade options. And that's a whole nother thing, right? So got that out of the way. Then gold. Here's the gold trade. And I put both of these on here so you can sort of see where they're at. Now, yesterday, 6:43 p.m., I looked at gold. I analyzed my chart and I said, watch this. And I have a thing about using Fibonacci pivots. I just do. And I said, I'm going to enter right here. And I'm going to take this trade. I'm going to let it run right down here. And this trade right here generated me a nice little bit of money. I think it was like $530 or something on this trade for here in this trade. Now, I didn't see his trade till this morning, right when I got up. For some reason, the Telegram was muted. Sort of bummed me out, which is fine. Not a big deal. Right, here it is. I actually wrote it on here, right? $512 is what I earned on this trade right here. I entered it last night. I saw the move. I knew where it was going. I looked at all my indicators. I looked at my MACD, and I said, this trade is most likely going to start here and go in here. I put in my stop loss in case it decides to go that way. I'm not going to blow my account. So I put in my stop loss. And then when I got up this morning, I said, oh, look at that. Our Manara Gold guys put in a trade last night, which pretty close to what I do. Now, in taking these trade signals that we just talked about, I would recommend, if you do get enrolled, and that's your just a super freaking sharp trader, is you can see some people get greedy, right? I came down here and I put in this trade to see how far we're going to go in here, depending on, I got my stop loss set, right? So if I lose a little bit of money, it's not going to be the end of the world. I may actually move my stop loss down just a little bit, but it looks like it's still trending in that direction. It may run down this direction. I was a little bit conservative. I backed it off a little bit. I typically don't trade outside of the S3. So coming back to say this again, this is me. This is Forrest. This is how I trade over the years. If I was going to take this gold trade that was recommended and I catch it before it's actually here, not 10 hours later, and I can catch it before it hits TP1, TP1 is almost always a 100% bet. TP2, probably a pretty good chance. So you, in those two areas, when we did the pips, that would have been a total of about $400 that you could have made in that area if you would have caught it at the entry and just took the TP2 profit and walked away and said, I'm done for the day, right? That would have been your trade. It would have been out because it came down. It hit TP1, it hit TP2, it hit TP3, it hit TP4, it hit TP5, it hit TP6, right? It's right at TP6. It hit TP6 and it's bouncing around. It's coming down this way. I'm going to watch this trade here a little bit later today. The market's getting ready to roll into the tomorrow. You can see we're right at the end of market day today. It's going to roll into tomorrow. And what happens, this trade may just do some stuff like this. We'll have to see where it goes. depending on it, once it rolls down into this area here, I'm probably going to move my stop loss like way down here, right? Just to mitigate and reduce the chances of losing money. Basically, it's called a trailing stop loss. I'm just going to move my stop loss down once it comes down in this area. After this call, I'm probably going to get off of here. I'm just going to move my stop loss down in here just to mitigate loss. So if it does turn around, it doesn't take up, eat up as much of the profits I made today. So that's gold, right? So again, this trade idea, right? This was me over here. Cool, because I learned how to do this and practice that. Really, really cool. And I like to do this. I put in my notes, got a spelling error there. I put in my notes to keep track of where I'm at, right? See, I hit this, hit the sell stop order. I put that in, got it all set up, ready to go. Trade hit, bam, took off and did what it was supposed to do. So I got that all taken care of. So did that. Of course, entered a buy stop in case gold decided to want to turn around. I'm going to go in and clear those out. Here's another trade that was entered in case it went into a buy mode and comes down. But this was a very, very good trade. This guy has just, his name is Idris. He's actually training tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you'd like to jump in one of his classes, you get enrolled by then. You can jump in his class, and he talks about this. He trades exclusively gold and the pound JPY, I think it is what he trades. And that's all he trades. And based on this, it makes quite a bit of money depending on his account size. So that is gold. Bitcoin. So let me go to a bigger thingy here so I can get a little bit better idea on this. I have to go up to the hour. Let's go to the hour here. So this is Bitcoin, right? This is Bitcoin. This was an idea that was dropped by one of the crypto guys. And of course, sometimes it's really hard to tell when they launched the ETFs, and I covered this, I think it was yesterday. When they launched that ETF, it bounced right here, went right, and then it's like, oh no, and it sort of came back down and actually dropped below. It's been sort of ranging. It's been just up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And even in some of these shorter candles, like these two candles here, depending on your lot size and your account balance, you could make several $100s just in one of these really small candles. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars in a move like this, depending on your account size. So this was entered by one of the crypto guys. And again, nobody's perfect. You can't guess what the rest of the world is going to do. You just have to basically go based on past experience. So this never went anywhere. So what I did is I was watching this trade, right? As I was watching this trade, it actually opened. I've moved my take profit all the way down to here because he actually came out with a new trade idea that said it's going to come up in this area, then it's going to head down in this direction over a swing trade. A swing trade means it's going to take several days to get there. When it bounces into that area, it hasn't reached this area of turnaround yet, which is somewhere up here. But I went ahead and closed that trade with Bitcoin. And if you can see, I'll go back into my 1 minute chart, and you can see that trade in there. Basically from this area where the trade was entered to this green line right here, that was about $75 worth of Bitcoin. Not a lot, but I went ahead and closed that out. It looks like he might be to his area where he's going to hit the resistance area, which is this R1 right here. Is that R1 or R2? Where are we at? Where's my P? Okay. 1, 2. Yeah, that's R2. So it might come up to this area here and then turn around and go into that long swing trade where it's going to head down to the basement. Excuse me, MACD. Get you out the way there. But we'll take a look at that. I'm going to probably go enter in all the parameters there and just test it. I'm not going to enter that trade because I haven't traded Bitcoin before, but I want to see where it's going to go. So I'm going to enter in all the guides. I'm just going to see if that trade actually goes in the direction over that swing period to see what's going to happen with that. Let's see, jumping back in here, Euro USD, didn't do anything with that. We talked about that yesterday. Talked about that one. Yeah, that was on the 14th. This one was on the 15th. This was yesterday. Made profit on that one. This was the British pound and the yen, right? This was today's trade. Now, this was, again, I talked about this yesterday as well. But here's what happened. Let me turn off some of this cloud stuff here so you guys can see this, right? So the Manara AI bot came in and said, hey, here's a trade. It was issued at 9 o'clock this morning. I went in and took a look at it, and then I looked at this and said, that AI bot is stoned. And if you look at my candles, I'm using Heikin-Ashi candles. They're basically trend following candles. They're a little bit more clean, right? turned on my Fibonacci pivots. I looked at that. I looked at my EMAs. I looked at my MACD down here, and I said, I don't think that's going to turn around and come back down this way. I looked at that and said, that's not a trade. And I looked at my overall trend was going up. It was a buy trend all day long. Again, the bot doesn't get it right every single time. I just want you to understand it. Just because it's a bot doesn't mean that it's perfect every time. And if someone's telling you they got a bot that gets a 100% return, they're full of it, right? So I looked at this trade idea, and you notice I said I did not enter. I just put it in here because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I entered my own trade, right? Based on the Fibonacci's, I entered my own trade here at 9:50 p.m. Literally 10 minutes later, it hit my take profit, which I entered right here because I knew there's a big break of structure here that I've got an algo set up, the Lux algo set up, break of structure hit here. It kept running, and it ran right up here. Let's turn on my Fibonacci's and see what that looks like. So in my Fibonacci's, in my R3, so basically I did, when I trade Fibonacci pivots, I'm not going to train on that right now, but I've got a really weird rule of thumb in how I trade these, because sometimes a price will come up and bounce off a resistance area, then it'll come down, and it'll do some of this, and it'll come down this way, then it'll go this way, then it'll take off and do that, right? So basically what I just said, it actually went through resistance number 1 and went up to number 3, came just about up here, came back around here. You see I've got an arrow in here, right? I actually put this arrow in here because I knew it was going to do that, right? Came right up to where I thought it was. I put a green line here and said, watch, it's going to come up here. It's going to turn around and do this. Again, I could have, and sometimes it's a guess, but I usually come up and down about a third from my resistance line. I usually come up about a third. I just told you my strategy, about a third from there. And then that's where I would have entered my trade. But I said, you know what? I got my trade here. My day's going really, really well. I already hit my goal. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And it comes up and it goes down and it just sort of bounces off resistance. It's going to come up and come down. It'll probably do a 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll see what happens. It's rolling into a new day, right? So I don't trade at the end of the day. Again, it's up to you when you trade. I want to see what's going to happen when it rolls into the new day here in the next couple of hours. It'll probably do some stuff like this. It might do some overnight stuff, especially since it's the British pound, Japanese yen. The European market opens at, I think it's 2 a.m. my time, roughly. Opens at 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m. in the morning, somewhere around over there, it's going to take off. It may do something depending on what the Japanese yen is doing, all that kind of stuff. So that was a fun trade there. This is US dollar Swiss franc. That was from the 15th. Talked about that one yesterday. This was another Manara AI. This one was done on the 15th as well. We talked about that yesterday. And you see this one, New Zealand US dollar just freaking went to the basement like crazy. Let me turn on the Heikin-Ashi candle so it doesn't look so ugly. Like it looks like a big caterpillar now. But that sucker went to the basement. This is a 15-minute chart. And that sucker just went, it's just trending down. So let's talk about the AI bot, right? So I'm surprised I took this one. I'm not sure why I did when everything is trending like down right here. So if the Manara AI bot came out and entered a trade signal that says do a sell. Now, again, this is below my S3, so that's another indicator that I might not take this. I might want to wait till it rolls into the next day to see where it's going. But overall, this trend here in the 15-minute chart is trending down. If I go to the 1-hour chart, let's take a look at that. My 1 hour is trending way, 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 way down this way. If I go to my daily, let's see what the daily looks like. The daily gives me a little bit different picture, right? Gives me a little bit different picture on the trend. Let's put on the, let's turn on the cloud here and see what that says. So another thing that you can learn in education, depending on who's teaching the cloud, right? When I learned to trade, right, you would, if somebody was recommending a sell, you wouldn't take a sell until it's actually below the cloud, right? The lagging span would be below price would be below the cloud, and then you would enter a sell. Right now, my EMA is coming all the way up here. It did a switch over right here, which means it's trending, right? My MACD down here says sellers are in the market. It's heading down here. It hasn't hit 0 yet. So I've got quite a few indicators saying that there's possible sellers, but I would wait. If it's in the cloud, I wouldn't take that trade. And again, depending on whether you're doing a swing trade or you're doing more of a scalping trade on a 5-minute chart, there's 2 different indicators. But overall, if I was going to do a swing trade on this, I'd want to wait until the price got down here somewhere or the cloud decides it's going to head out this way, right? Again, a lot of indicators. You learn this stuff in trading class, lagging span, cloud, and you look at this, your EMAs, my trends, right? My Hikanachi candle trends, my trending here, right? You can do breakout boxes depending on how you set that up. So one of the things I learned is when you see a double-ended wicked candle and Hikanashi candles, you do a breakout box and you wait for that those candles to break outside that box, right? Which means this candle broke outside that box. I would wait for the next candle and I could take a trade. There's a lot of rules. Sometimes you get too many indicators. You get confused at what to do. Again, I like to go long and see what's happening here. This is definitely heading into a downtrend. Again, I've got a large wick here, right? If there was no wick on this candle, this next candle is going to break into the cloud. With a lot of buyers being in the market, I've got some dark going on down here. If this comes in here and this switches over to some green, possibly, depending on where it's going, it might come back this way. This might turn around and come back north. So that's the New Zealand dollar. And then let's see, what did we trade here? That was on the 15th. Stop loss hit. Enter TP. TP hit on that one. That was the 15th. Didn't do anything. So that was a wrap for today. Looking at the calendar, not a lot. I believe that's China. CNY, I believe that's China. Let me see what that says. Never looked at that. Yep, that's China. Change in selling price of the newly built residential buildings, 70 medium, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. I don't trade any China currency, but it's cool to see what's going on in China in terms of reading the news. Then the next news is going to come out for our trading zone, of course, is the euro and pound, which is going to happen about 2 o'clock in the morning, which is 1 a.m. my time. So all that's going to have an impact. This red folder is going to have a huge impact. If we read this, let's see what it says. It says actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So if we see this go green here as an actual greater than, it's good for currency, which means currency goes up. And again, that's a whole nother training. If the US dollar and the pound are both going up, you could create a little bit of dollar there. If they're going against each other, right, that's usually a really good trade. Again, there may be some guys that trade longer than I have that come out with a whole different perspective on that. But that is me just short of sharing what's happened the last couple of days. If you're thinking about, man, this seems exciting, it's a lot like, what did he say? I covered a lot. You're not going to learn all of this in 2 days. If you're in a get rich quick mentality, if you think like, I need to make money right now, learning to trade forex and crypto and stock options is always a good skill to have. So when you need that money right now, like right now, 3 years from now, you can do it, right? Of course, you got to have some money to be able to put into a broker, some cash like that to be able to do that. Stock options is a really cool way that you can actually start an account with a very, very little bit of money. And if you pay attention to what she teaches in class, you can actually put yourself in a position. She actually says this in 90 days, put yourself in a position to start earning money in 90 days in the stock options class. But you got to show up. You got to take notes. You got to pay attention. The class today, had the light bulb go on for me. And I do this, right? But again, I'm learning a new platform. And the new platform has the buttons all in different places. So I've got to figure out, okay, if I open a trade, I click here, I close a trade, I click there. How do I set my stop loss? How do I set my take profit? It's all in a different place, right? And I'm willing to do that because I say, hey, if I can learn that skill on top of the skill that I currently have, that's going to be a lot of fun, right? And my personal goal is to help 1,000 families put themselves in position to have six-figure annual, I call it passive income, because it's almost passive, right? It's almost passive when you can sit down for 15 minutes in a day, open up your trade, set your boom, and walk away. You don't have to do anything else the rest of the day. Just wait for it to do what it has. The biggest challenge with trading is mindset, right? So if you'd like to learn how to trade, shoot me a text message. Phone number scrolling right across the bottom of the screen, 314-498-7688. I'll walk you through the platform. I'll show you everything that's there. If you decide to do it, it's stupid affordable. It's crazy, crazy affordable. The monthly tuition is well worth it. And the cool thing about it is if you bring 3 friends with you, right? Again, this is not talking about the affiliate part of the business, just talking about customer referrals or student referrals. If you bring 3 friends that want to trade with you, you guys want to trade together, those 3 pay their monthly tuition, you get yours free, right? So just something to think about. If you got some friends you want to trade with, again, we have an awesome community that we trade with. We've got some really cool groups that we trade with and you come and hang out with. I recommend at least getting into the stock options class and learning how to trade stock options, because once you learn how to trade stock options, transitioning over to trade something else is going to be relatively easy, because trading, in my opinion, trading forex is a lot easier than trading stock options. And again, that's just maybe because I learned forex first. I don't know. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Jesus loves you. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. And I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators and help you make a lot of money. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.